One of the most important skills to have is the ability to say no. To say no to invitations. To say no to people trying to steal your time, trying to ask you to do something. To say no to your desires. To say no to eating that junk food, to eating that cake. To say no to drinking, to say no to masturbating, to say no to your desires. To say no to your emotions, to anger, to resentment, to excitement, to lust, to obsession. If you want to have more time for yourself, then you got to cultivate this ability to say no. To have the courage to tell someone that no, thank you. Now let me tell you a story about how saying no has saved me a bunch of time. It's 2023 and I'm in 12th grade and this is our last year, so we have a bunch of stuff coming up in this year, a bunch of events, ceremonies. We have a huge test coming up at the end of the year, and around the end of the year we have this football match where we play against the teachers. It's actually really fun and they are actually quite good at football, and it's a tradition around here that the classes separately do a dance before the football match. So I'm thinking, should I go, should I not go? And I'm like, to be honest, I don't really care about this dance. I just don't care. So I decided for myself that I'm not going to go. I just don't care that much to go and practice like 4 hours every single week. Or 2 hours, I don't know how much it was. And then one day I'm just sitting in class and this girl comes up to me and I think she was the organizer of this whole dance thing. And she asked me, are you coming to practice? And then I just tell her, no, I'm not going. And she asked me, why? And I tell her that it's just not that important for me. And then she asked me like, is the class not that important for you? And she goes on like this. And I just tell her straight to her face like, no, the class is just not that important for me. I don't really care. And then she goes like, damn, like she looks at me like that. And saying no right there just saved me hours of my time to focus on what actually mattered for me. To focus on myself, to learn for that big exam coming up. Just by saying no. And there was some other people in my class who I knew that they didn't want to go either. But they didn't have the courage to tell the class that they didn't want to go. Now you might be saying that I missed out on that experience of dancing with the class and that would have been a memory that I would have remembered for the rest of my life or something like that. But to be honest, like, I just don't care. I just didn't really care about that class. We didn't really have that like strong connection. I had like a couple of dudes that I hanged out with and that's it. I just didn't really care. Not saying that they made the wrong decision by deciding to go and dance. No, not at all. It was important for them. And it was not important for me. They said yes, I said no. It's that simple. It's that simple. What's important for you? Say yes. What's not important for you? Say no. Ask yourself, is this important for me? Does this really matter? And if the answer is no, then just say no. This is the tricky part. You just gotta have the courage to say no. Even though you might offend some people. Like, I might have offended that girl in that class. Like, she did like look at me like that. But that was worth it. Offending some people, like turning some people off. It's worth that. That is worth for hours of my life. I would rather trade this for that. And saying no has also helped me in a bunch of other stuff. I say no to other activities in school, like wasting my time with that. Or saying no to junk food, saying no to sweets. That's actually a hard one, having that willpower to say no. Saying no to distractions. To focus on what's in front of me, to learn, to work on this, write scripts for the videos, to record videos. Say no to all those distractions, to scrolling on my phone. So this is a crucial skill to have. And this is why I'm making this video, to remind you of this and to tell you that it's okay to say no. That doesn't mean that you're mean. And you should say no to the things that don't matter, to the things that are not important for you. No, thank you. No, I'm not going to get caught up in that. No, I would rather not do that. Sorry, but no. You might hurt some feelings. You might offend some people. You might turn some people off. It might be hard. But you gotta ask yourself, which one is important for you, as we said? So what's more important for you? The opinions of others, pleasing other people, or living a life that you actually want to live? Focusing on what matters to you. You have to make this decision and then practice saying no. Because the more you say no to the things that don't matter, the more you can say yes to the things that do. This is such a good saying. The more you say no to the things that don't matter, the more you can say yes to the things that do. Because when you say no to something or yes to something, when you say yes to something, you're also saying no to something else. When you say yes to that junk food, to that extra piece of cake or sweets, you're saying no to a healthy lifestyle. When you're saying yes to work an extra 1 or 2 hours, you're saying no to spending that time with the people that you love. When you say no to watching Roblox porn, you say yes to being a normal guy, not a weird guy. Now, I read about this idea in the book The Daily Stoic, which is just great. I really recommend it. It basically has like a message, some kind of meditation for every single day of the year. And this is from January 3rd. And I just want to read you this nice little quote from this message. It goes like this. How many have laid waste to your life when you weren't aware of what you were losing? How much was wasted in pointless grief, foolish joy, greedy desire, and social amusement? How little of your own was left to you? You will realize that you are dying before your time. And this was from Seneca. This quote really makes you realize just how much time we waste. As it says, how many have laid waste your life when you weren't aware of what you were losing? Wasting our time with caring too much about what other people think. Wasting our time by trying to please everyone else around us. By focusing on what's outside of our control. And also on pointless grief, foolish joy, greedy desire, social amusement. And it starts off by saying that one of the hardest things to do is to say no. As we said, to say no to invitations, to say no to requests, to obligations, to stuff that everyone else is doing. And even harder is to say no to some of the time-consuming emotions. To say no to anger, to say no to lust, to say no to obsession, to say no to greed. Now, these things, these impulses, by themselves, they might not seem like that bad. But if you can't control them, if they get out of hand, if you can't say no, then these things can overwhelm and take over your life. If you can't control your lust, if you can't say no to your lust, then you'll spend your whole life chasing after women, being obsessed by them, being how do you say that, dragged around by them, watching porn every day, or even cheating on your wife. If you can't control your anger, then you push away the people from you. Push them away and hurt them. Say mean things to them even though you didn't mean them. And you'll regret those. You'll regret those things that you did out of anger. Because the words that has been said cannot be unsaid. So can you say no to these emotions? Can you say no to these invitations? And you will fail. I also fail a bunch of times. Everyone else fails. This is just life. But it's about, can you get back up? It's about when you fall down, getting back to that philosophy and standing back up. Because don't expect that now you know that you should really focus on what matters and say no to the rest. Don't expect that you'll do this for the rest of your life and not fail. That's such an egotistical thing to say. It will go like this. And this is with every kind of habit, meditating or anything like that. Don't expect that now you learn how good exercising is or diet is, that you'll have a perfect diet for the rest of your life and you won't miss a workout every single day. No, it goes like this. Up and down. You have good days, you have bad days. But you gotta look at it from a bigger perspective. Look at it how many like days have I meditated in a month or in a year? How is it? How is this compared to the last year? Because the last year you might not even have meditated, and this year you might have meditated 50, like 70, 100 times. Like that's such a huge improvement. So don't start getting too negative about yourself if you broken your no-fap streak. That's not the point. The point is not to just go on a streak and not fap for the rest of your life, because that's not going to happen. The point is to just, per year, how many days did you not fap? Because that's a much healthier way to look at it. So yeah, that was the video, and you can tell me in the comments. I'm actually really interested about your thoughts and the story about where you said no and that helped you a lot. I'm very interested to hear that. And if you're interested, I'm doing free one-on-one calls. You can send me an email and we'll make a call, a video call, and you can ask me anything you want. So email in the description. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. All the love towards you. Have a great day and goodbye.